Inside this box is a really interesting kitchen gadget that I can't wait to try out. Lift it out of the box and you can see it comes in 3 different pieces. It's certainly a curious looking thing. Have you got any idea what it's for? After giving it a quick wash, it's ready to assemble. This funny piece here clips to the V-shaped channel using a couple of the holes. It's a sort of stand for it. Then there's this funnel hopper and I'm clipping this into the next 2 holes down. Once it's together, it should look like this. Any idea what it's for yet? So, to use it, we actually sit it on top of a bowl. The plastic bit at the front sits against the inside of the bowl, and this stand at the back is supposed to sit on the lip of the bowl, but this bowl's a little bit too small. What you can do is adjust the position of the stand by fixing it into some of these other holes. You'll also need to move the hopper, but it does make a shorter run. But if you haven't got a big enough bowl, what you can do is use a plastic tub like this. And it now sits perfectly on there. We need to leave a bowl at the end to use as a collection vessel. If you wanted to though, you could also use a pan like this, and a plate. So what does it do? It's actually for separating egg whites and yolk. We crack a raw egg into here, and apparently the yolk should slide down this channel here and drop off the end onto a plate or a bowl. And the egg white seeps through the slot at the bottom into the vessel underneath. It's an interesting idea, huh? And we'll see if it works in a minute. But first I want to show you this. This is also an egg white separator, which hooks over the edge of a bowl. I removed it from the packaging, and they actually give us 2. It's a cool looking thing, a bit like a spider. It's made from plastic, and it's pretty flexible. The idea is it just hooks over the lip of the bowl, like this, and well, it seems to attach to this bowl quite well. No problems there at all. And if I try it on a few others, like this smaller bowl which is at quite a steep angle, there's no issues there either. It can also fit clean over the mouth of a small cup, or if your cup's a little bit larger, you can hook it over the side like this. And if I try it on a really large bowl, yeah, no issues there either. So I'll put it back on this glass bowl so we can see it working. And the idea is if we want to separate an egg, we just crack it open over the spider. It should collect and hold the yolk while all the egg white dribbles down through. And well, look at that, it looks like it's worked really well. Then you can just lift it out and tip the yolk into a separate bowl. I tried it again, but this time I seem to have a bit of an issue. I broke in the egg and that all worked okay. But this time the egg white didn't all seem to strain down through. Some of it kind of stayed attached a bit, so I lifted it up and kind of gave it a bit of a shake and a wobble to try to encourage it to drop off. I really gave it quite a vigorous shake, but despite all my efforts it just wouldn't drop through. So eventually I decided to take some cooking scissors and cut off the strands of egg white. I do need to be careful here not to cut the egg yolk. Oh no, there we go. Well, that didn't work very well for me. Oh well, I'm going to clean out the bowl and give it one more go. I cracked the egg in again, and most of the egg white does run straight through, but again I did find a few strands holding on. I tried to shake them off best I could, and then tipped out the yolk into the bowl with the other one. Oh, there's actually still a bit of egg white underneath. Oh, and I broke the yolk. You can see the egg white in here. What do you think? Is that acceptable to have that much egg white in with the yolks? Would that mess up a recipe? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. It is quite a cool little gadget, but I did have a couple of issues with it. However, it is really easy to clean. But let's go back to this one now and see how well it works. I'm trying it out with this box of 6 eggs. So apparently you just crack one open and drop it in the hopper here. And wow, check that out. Yeah, all the egg white just seeps down into the pan below, and the egg yolk is just kind of sliding on down. Come on, come on. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it broke. But yeah, that worked really well. You can see all the egg white below in the pan. And we've got to give that another go. So I cracked open another egg, and check it out. You just see it sliding down. And plop. There we go. Pretty cool, huh? I really like that. I'm going to do all 6 eggs and see if we have any issues. This time the egg yolks actually stopped. There's a little bit of white hanging underneath, so I'm going to snap it off with a spoon. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Stand it back on, and well, yeah, that's alright. Let's try the other 3. Whoa, that one went really fast. And yep, no issues with this one either. I love the way they just slide off the end. And for the last one, let's have a look at it from this angle. Plop, there it goes. You do occasionally get a little bit of egg white coming down the chute with the yolk, but it's really not much. And if we take a look at the plate, that really is good. It is a shame the first one broke. There's no strands of egg white left here on the chute, so I can remove it now, and here's our pan full. Of course, you can tip it out into a bowl and use it for whatever you like. I am impressed with this, it's a cool gadget and it does seem to work well. But next I'm going to show you what's in here. So have you ever seen one of these before? They call it the pepper ball. I'm going to remove the label and take a look. It's actually a combined salt and pepper grinder. It comes with this seal on the bottom, and there's these two sliders. These apparently adjust how coarse or fine you want your salt or pepper. There's a little white S mark here to indicate salt, and a black P here on the other side for pepper. The handles actually rotate round like this to select which one you want. Pretty cool, huh? So let's test it out. I'm giving it a few grinds here on the counter, and you can see as I push the two handles together, it kind of pushes out this grinding plate to dispense the salt. I'm going to try moving this all the way to one side, and we'll make a little pile of salt here, then switch it on over, and make another pile here to see how it compares. So the first pile, I would say, has got quite a bit of fine salt in it, but also quite a bit of coarse. And if we look at the other side, I'd say it's pretty similar actually, but there is definitely a lot more coarse. So I guess it kind of works, but I was really hoping for one to be really nice and fine. Let's switch it round to the pepper symbol and give this one a go. I ground out a small pile here, then switched over the lever and did another one here. This time, as I was using it, the handle kind of locked up a bit. And when I looked underneath, the grinding plate had stayed stuck out. It hadn't retracted all the way back into the unit. I had to push it back in, and I was having to do this nearly every time. I think the finest setting for the pepper mill causes it to jam up a bit. That's a shame. But if we have a look at the two piles we made, you can definitely see that this one is a lot coarser than this one over here. To refill the unit, you turn it upside down and unscrew the base of it here, and you can access each side to top them up. Now, I've got to be honest, despite it not being perfect, I do quite like this gadget. It is quite a novel grinder. It's nice having the two-in-one feature, and you could keep it on the side somewhere like next to where you do your cooking, or maybe on the dining room table. What do you think? Do you like this gadget? Would you have one? In one of my most recent videos, I showed you this manual hand press fruit juicer. I tested it out along with some other juicers to make some fresh orange juice. I found the juice that came from this juicer though was a little bitter, and I think it was because I was also squeezing out zest from the orange skin. I did have a number of comments from people saying I should peel the orange first, but one of the main reasons I didn't was because looking through the instructions, it kind of gives you the impression that you don't really need to. The little picture here shows an orange going into the machine still with the skin on, and there's another image here of the fruit coming out of the machine. But this time I'm going to try it with peeled oranges to see if it makes any difference. I'm going to juice 5 whole fruit again, like I did in the last video, to see how much juice we get. So I started with peeling this one and cutting it in half. I'm not timing the operation this time because of course it'll take a lot longer. But I put this half in the press, gave it a squeeze, and I am still finding issues with it blocking up the filter a bit. I guess I could use the mesh bags they provide, but that does seem like a very long-winded way to make some orange juice. And personally, I do like having some of the bits in the drink. You can see this piece, which slid down underneath the filter, still appears to have quite a lot of juice in it. But I carried on juicing the other half of the orange, then decanted out the juice into this measuring jug. I worked my way through all 5 oranges, and something I did find was if I squeeze the fruit not quite so hard, I do get less problems with it blocking up the filter. I started gently squeezing the fruit a little bit, then opening it up, turning it round a bit, and doing it some more. Then, if you need to, you can do it again. So, once I finished with the last one, I poured it into the measuring jug, and these 5 oranges produced just over 300 millilitres for me. That's actually quite a lot less than when I juiced them in the last video, and I think it was probably because this time I wasn't squeezing them out quite so much in an effort to stop the filter blocking. But yeah, we've got some lovely looking juice here. It's really pretty smooth, there's definitely not many bits in it, and when I taste it this time, yeah, it's definitely not bitter at all. That's delicious. Look at all of this leftover pulp though, there's still blatantly a lot of juice left behind here. Have you got any good recipes we could use this for? Let me know in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, you might like to click on the links to see some of my others. Have fun, stay safe, and as always, thanks for watching.